And I live 1.6 miles downstream from the metadata center in Beaver Dam. If you need to stand and stretch for a moment, please do. I have never in my life needed a group of people to be more alert to what I have to say. Thank you for staying so long. I'm a lifelong Wisconsin resident. I live on a horse farm, and I am an educator. For almost 50 years, a natural creek has flowed through my property. It's 20 feet wide, up to 4 feet deep. It has persisted through drought, flood, seasonal change. It's part of a connected system: groundwater, tributaries, watersheds, aquifers, ultimately flowing into Beaver Dam Lake. Until construction began upstream on the data center, its behavior was stable and predictable. After construction started, all of that changed here in Beaver Dam. The creek began to stop flowing entirely. Without rainfall, it would abruptly return, often cloudy and opaque like milk, with enough force to cause drastic erosion and damage. This pattern repeated itself dozens of times over a single construction season, to the point that it is dry half of the time. Dust from the construction covers my yard. My grass is white, and I'm 1.6 miles away. When I drive past it, I have to pull over because the dust cloud is so thick that I can't see the front of the hood of my truck. That behavior is not consistent with natural variability. It is not explained by weather patterns, and it has never happened before. So I did what residents are told to do. I called up the Department of Natural Resources. I spoke with dedicated staff, but the system is fragmented. My reports are passed between departments, reports are lost, and at one point I was told the agency didn't even know if they had clear authority over what was going on. What I learned in this process is there is no single entity responsible for what happens downstream when large-scale construction disrupts a water system. Different permits govern different activities, locally, county level, state level, some even federal. No one is tasked at looking at the whole picture or what happens beyond the project boundary. This is not a failure of individual agency staff, it's a policy failure. The law is on the side of the businesses and not on the residents. In my case, the creek's flow now appears correlated with industrial activity upstream and the times when that construction took place, including daily blasting with dynamite. When that discharge stops, my creek stops. When it resumes, water returns suddenly. Now, corporates are receiving fast approval tax incentives, limited review, while residents are left to prove the damage after the fact at our own expense against billion-dollar companies. This research has become my part-time job. 10 to 20 hours a week I have spent since knowing it was a data center, trying to figure out what's happening to my land. Simply sending in a water sample from my property costs $121 just to ship the sample. The cost of the test alone is going to be another $400 every time I have it tested. Water testing on my property shows elevated strontium, a very dangerous metal, and other indicators consistent with deep groundwater influence, a change that coincides with large-scale excavation, blasting upstream, and warrants independent investigation. Filters on my water system to stop this elevated metal persistence in my water is going to be over $1,000. When construction is complete, nearly 1,000 acres of my backyard will be converted from living permeable land into a paved industrial space. Land that once actively recharged groundwater, aquifers, and watersheds. That change reshapes an entire community. Farmers and local families cannot compete with billion-dollar corporations to pay for that land. And over time, the places that defined Wisconsin, rural communities, working landscapes, they're being replaced. And then the next project arrives to fill in that spot because nobody is building a home next to a data center. People are leaving. Now there's another open spot, like a second data center now being proposed in Beaver Dam. The city annexed this land from my township. I was there at the meeting when they were talking to the farmers. Alliant Energy sent a representative in to broker the deal with all the farmers in the area. If we can find a buyer for the whole shebang, well, you all sell at the same time. They had 10 years to find a buyer. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they knew exactly who was going to buy that land. But we did not. Once it got annexed by the city, it goes to the county for rezoning. That is a rubber stamp in the process. There is nothing we can legally do to stop it at that point because you have to prove it is damaging to people's health. We cannot legally prove damage before it's built. So it goes through. So you have to stop it at the city level if you want to speak up. But the city level proposed a conversation at their meeting about a TID, not about a data center. By the time we knew it was a data center, it was too late to do anything. And the residents of the township have to live now with the negative impacts of a data center that is on city property, and I'm not represented by the city. I don't have a representative to speak for me. I bought the property to have horses across from my childhood home. My parents live across the street with their horses. I wanted to be here forever. I can't even leave. I am trapped here because nobody wants to buy my land. They don't want to be near a data center. And they don't want a 20-foot empty ditch in the front yard. I am concerned at the idea that there does not seem to be a working system in place to make sure that permits are being followed. We can issue them left and right. There's not enough staff. There's one mining permit officer in the DNR for the entire state of Wisconsin. There's a miner on that flag. We have one guy for the whole state to make sure people are doing what they're supposed to be doing in that particular area. There's not enough. And yes, I nodded when the data center guy was up here because I agree that 840 does not do enough. And he put his foot in his own mouth. He said, we want to work with communities. Then do it. Why do you need a bill to do it? Do it. Be transparent. And one thing I have not heard anyone today share or talk about is, are these bills retroactive? Who is coming to save me? My safety net is gone. My township cannot say no to being annexed by the city. My city doesn't represent me. And here I sit before you. I'm counting on you. I need you. It's too late for me. I didn't get to vote no. I didn't get to speak up. I have 2 minutes at a public hearing at the city, and I am so grateful that you let us sit here so late tonight. Nobody has let me tell my whole story. Please. Metaphorically, we are launching planes that are still being built, and we are forced to pilot them, and we don't know how to fly. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for being here.
Make sure you support independent journalism. Your help is more important than ever. Like, comment, share, and subscribe today.